Hey everybody, it's Allie Edwards, and I'm here for Project Life Week 29, which also includes pieces from our Foodie Story Play kit. So you can see here I'm working in my 9x12 Project Life page protectors, and this is for week 29, which is last week in real time, last week before in real 29 in real life in real time. In this particular spread, I am focusing on things related to food, both food that we eat and things that we are growing in our garden using mainly pieces from the kit. You can see that I'm cutting up the pattern paper there to create a card that can live behind my transparent card. My transparent card is the title card that I'm using for each week this year. This is, if you've been watching along in real time, I've been sharing some Project Life spreads in the stash class. I actually shared all of the month of May in the stash class, and then I'm working on June here at home and hope to share some more of that soon. Right there, what I did is I cut up the transparency that was included in the Foodie kit, and I'm going to use that as a background, basically as a frame for another cut up piece of this pattern paper. So I'm going to cut it in a way that I'll be able to actually stitch it onto that transparency, and then in the following week I will be able to just cut another piece of paper to the same size that will be on the background. I also decided to run that through the sewing machine. I've got all of the cards on there. I've got the menu card and then all the ING cards, and what I decided to do to add a little bit of boldness here is that I'm going to stamp 1, 2, 3 on each of these cards, which I knew when I was looking at these cards that I didn't have a ton I wanted to say. I could think of 3 things essentially for each of these. That seemed to make a lot of sense for what I was thinking in my head in this particular season. So I'm simply responding to the prompts. I'm stamping the numbers first. That is a 4x6 stamp set. We actually do have that one available in the shop. It has a currently stamp at the bottom of it too that I'll be using within this spread as well. So I'm going to repeat that same design element for each one of the cards. One of the things that I wanted to say about this, and I say in the blog post, is that I think sometimes with Project Life or Project Lifestyle documenting, people forget that you can pick a theme for a week. Like, you don't have to be documenting your, some complete everyday or complete weekly story, right? It's often highs, it's often an overview, and that's how I approach it most weeks, but it can be really fun to have a specific theme that you are focusing on. In this case, focusing on the theme of food, and I'll probably do something similar to this when we get to the books or the reading story play mini kit that we did this year. I'll probably do something similar in my Project Life spread or in my Project Life album. I totally loved the bold number stamps on here, and I'm using a Kuretake brush pen to add in my bold journaling. Again, not having a ton to say about this. I'm going to write a little bit of a longer journaling on that patterned paper piece that I stitched onto the transparency, but other than that, it's pretty fun to just fill in these journal cards with larger shapes, so larger numbers, larger letter forms. It's a good way to approach it when you don't have a lot of extra journaling, but you want to fill in that space, and especially if you like a bold graphic look, which is something that I continue to like. So following the same things, and yes, I could have totally picked a number stamp set that would have fit, like a smaller number stamp set, but I think I did this before, maybe in a Project Life spread for this year, I can't remember exactly, but where I overlapped the numbers. I just like the look of it. It just feels fun. I also liked using the red ink when I have a lot of photos of green. So playing around with the complementary colors there. Also having real responses like cooking, not super into cooking at this time, which is what I'm going to write about on that journal card too. I was actually just saying that to Erin. This is very normal for me in the summertime to just just get to the point where I'm like, nope, don't feel like cooking anything. So we do lots of things on the barbecue, frozen pizzas, peanut butter and jelly, just things that are super easy. So this is a fun time to document that. It would be fun, I feel like, to do this again for a different season in the year, like whether the beginning of the year or for the fall, or going into the winter when I feel like cooking a lot more. So I'm also pairing those bold journaling and the bold journaling pen there with the pen that I used on the menu, which is a significantly thinner micron pen. I'm also going in and using a paint pen on that menu card to add in a little bit more red. Now here's that currently stamped. This is going to give me a home base to just talk a little bit about food in this particular season or growing things. As you saw with the photos I took 2 photos of meals, and then the other 3 photos that I added in here are from the garden. So kind of highlighting the things that are growing, food-based things that are growing in my garden right now, which for me that's basically greens, kale, which kale can count as a green, but I ran out of letter stickers, as you'll see in a minute. So I just write greens and then the tomatoes there. So I think part of what I want to impart on this, or what I would love for people to take away too, is that it doesn't always have to be a comprehensive story. Like, who gets to decide whether a story is comprehensive or not? A story is simply a story. A story can be one word. A story can be many words. A story can be many, 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 many words. It all counts. And especially if you've ever heard me talk about Project Life before, you've taken my Storytelling with Project Life class, I talk a lot about how it's the sum of all the parts, right? It's not any one individual week that is the most important week. It's all of these weeks combined together that show a story over time. So some of them may have more journaling, some of them may have less, some of them might be have more photos, some might have less, some might look more playful, some might look more serious. It gives you an opportunity to be able to have variety within the weekly spreads, and I continue to appreciate that. So next up, I am adding letter stickers directly onto my photos. This is something that I used to do a lot when I was doing 12 by 12 weekly Project Life. In case you're just picking up on my videos now, I did Project Life from about 2010 to 2020, and then I stopped and took a break, and this year I am back doing it in the 9 by 12 size, and I've really been having fun. Main thing with the letter stickers here is trying to figure out what words I could use that I had enough letters for. I was able to do toast and tomatoes and kale, but I couldn't do lettuce because there weren't enough T's, so that's where I decided to do greens on my other photo of lettuce there. Super fun. I kind of forgot how fun it was to add on words directly onto the photos like that, whether you are doing a font, so you could do these on your computer before you print them out, or you can do what I'm doing here and use the letter stickers as a way. I love that white. I love the white on the photos there. Also on this one on the bottom, this was actually from a family meal that we had. My parents were here and my sister was here and her family, and so we had kind of a late lunch all together. And so for this one, where it had a bunch of different foods on it, I'm just putting the word family. And I'm just free-handing this. You can always use a ruler if you want when you are adding the letters on top. I just having fun playing around. So as always, let me know if you guys have questions in the comments below.